They say love is blind, but for Efua, love was a full-time job. 10 years ago, she met Segun when he had nothing but a rusted motorcycle and a degree that no firm wanted to look at. Efua, a rising star in a top Lagos accounting firm, didn't see a poor man, she saw a king in the making. Against her mother's warnings, she married him in a simple registry wedding. For the first 5 years, Efua was the backbone. She paid the rent for their tiny one-bedroom apartment in Yoba. She skipped buying new clothes so Segun could afford the professional exams he kept failing. When he finally passed and wanted to start a logistics business, Efua took a massive loan against her own salary to buy him his first 3 delivery vans. "My golden heart," Segun would call her, kissing her tired palms at night. "Once I make it, Efua, you will never walk on the ground again. I will carry you." Efua believed him. She served him like a queen serves a deity. She woke up at 4 a.m. to cook his favorite ofensala before heading to her high-stress job. She dealt with his mother's insult about her delay in conceiving, never telling Segun that the doctor said his high stress levels were the reason. She protected his ego at all cost. By the 8th year, the seeds Efua had watered with her sweat began to grow. Segun's company, S-Express, became a household name. They moved to a mansion in Lekki. Segun started wearing $2,000 suits and driving cars that roared like lions. Efua stepped back from her career to finally raise their twin miracle boys. She thought she was finally entering her soft life. But she didn't realize that as Segun's bank account grew, his memory faded. The 10th anniversary was supposed to be a grand ball. Efua spent weeks planning it. On the morning of the event, she went to Segun's study to leave a gift, a vintage watch she'd saved for months to buy. There, on his desk, sat a legal document. It wasn't a gift. It was a transfer of assets. As she read the fine print, her world turned grey. Segun had been systematically moving the company's ownership, the house, and even their joint investments into a newly formed trust. The beneficiary, a woman named Titi, his 23-year-old secretary, and a newborn son Efua didn't know existed. The door opened. Segun walked in, looking more handsome than the day they met. He didn't look guilty, he looked bored. "Efua, you weren't supposed to see that yet," he said, adjusting his cufflinks. 10 years, Segun, Efua whispered, the tears finally starting to fall. "I paid for your exams. I took loans for your vans. I defended you when your own family called you a failure. I gave you my youth." Segun sighed, a cold, modern sound. "And I am grateful, Efua. But look at you. You've become a home woman. You smell like onions and baby formula." Titi, she represents the man I am now. A billionaire needs a certain kind of image. I've left you the old house in Yoba and 10% of the liquid cash. It's more than you had when I met you. Efua didn't scream. She didn't break the vases. She wiped her eyes, and for the first time in a decade, the golden heart turned into polished steel. She remembered something Segun had forgotten. Those first 3 vans. The loans. The original business license for S-Express. They were all registered in her name, under her maiden name, because Segun's credit had been too poor to sign a single document back then. She had never officially transferred the master deed to him. She looked at him and smiled, a slow, terrifying smile that stopped him mid-sentence. "You're right, Segun," she said, her voice dropping to a deadly calm. "You are a billionaire now. But you're a billionaire on my property. By 9 a.m. tomorrow, the image you love so much will be evicted from this house. The vans, the contracts, the name S-Express. They don't belong to a king. They belong to the woman who bought them." Segun's face turned pale. The golden heart wasn't just soft, it was the most valuable thing he owned, and he had just thrown it away. As Efua walked out of the room to pack her children's bags, she didn't cry for him anymore. She cried for the girl she used to be, but she smiled for the woman she was about to become.